morning. My name is Darren Thompson. I'm the Director of CRM and Loyalty at Harry Rosen. And over the next 20 minutes, I'm going to be sharing with you a lot of the work that we've been doing with Environics, specifically over the last 18 months or so, as we emerge from the pandemic and really seize the moment, seize the opportunity that we've uncovered from a lot of the knowledge client data work that we've been doing. So before starting into it, I just want to go through some of the challenges. Obviously, the pandemic has been a big challenge for all retailers globally over the last 18 months. For us, no different. We had store closed. We really had to pivot quite fast in terms of our online offering. But it's been well documented what's gone on from a retail perspective with the pandemic. So really, I'll move to number 2, which is the biggest thing, is really holding and growing share with our traditional client segments. More holding than anything else. Our traditional client segment, they have long tenured Harry Rosen clients. Many of them are beginning to age out of the workforce, may not need those 2 or 3 suits that they were buying once every year. Now more around how do we introduce that casual wear, sportswear offering to them and ensure that we hold that share that has been quite strong with that group. Number 3 is understanding, engaging, and really acquiring that younger demographic, that young up-and-coming customer that may think of Harry Rosen prior to the pandemic as the place where their father went and bought their suits. That's no longer the case, or at least that's the perception we're trying to break down, that we have a lot more to offer and do offer to this younger segment. Number 4, building a stronger omni-channel presence. Have to do that in this day and age, and we believe that we've done that quite well over the last 18 months in terms of our online presence, partnered now with the stores that we have in major Canadian markets. And then number 5, something new for us is really getting a handle on client experience, more importantly around the Net Promoter Score, and understanding the individual segment performance as it relates to that client experience. So I'll share a couple of slides on that. So all those challenges, how have we begun to meet them? What have we been doing? Well, I should start off by saying the business transformation goal is really around, enhancing our brand access and overall digital channel reach. But these projects really began prior to COVID. We had plans in place when they were going to complete it by, and that all went out the window. Everything had to be accelerated due to the pandemic. And first and foremost, our website re-platform. Kudos to our IT team. I've been through a number of different replatforms, and this one was done in lightning speed in August of 2020. We had to build out our omni-channel strategy to ensure that we are maximizing earn not only in our brick and mortar stores, but really introducing the legacy Harry Rosen customer into our online offering. We stood up a performance marketing team the last half of 2020, which really has been has provided some fantastic contributions to the overall marketing team. And then finally, there were some loyalty program enhancements. But for my team, what we looked at, how we got involved in all these strategies was around, first and foremost, the segmentation refresh that I'll walk you through. The work that we've done with Environics led to that client understanding, that client knowledge that helped build these business strategies for the organization, which in part has helped us achieve these transformation goals. A little bit of background on Harry Rosen and Environics. Partnership goes back 5 years. Early in 2021, earlier in the year, we completed our second customer or corporate segmentation using PRIZM. The last one was done in 2018. Environics had updated the PRIZM segmentation work or framework in mid-2020. And so in addition to this new PRIZM segmentation framework, we also added variables in from household spend, which really allowed us to leverage the data that we had to gauge our market share, not only in the markets where we currently play with our brick and mortar stores, but also understand what that market share potential was with our target client groups. At the end of the day, really, it was a blend of the technology investments that Harry Rosen had done over the last couple of years in partnership with this refreshed segmentation to identify those differences, nuances between clients, the client segment groups that allowed us to move on maximizing that client value and overall revenue for the organization. From a segmentation perspective, what we really needed to do with this new segmentation was, number 1, have a better understanding of the current client composition and market size. As a retailer, we get pretty good data right down to the SKU level. We know what our clients buy with us, but we don't know a lot of their outside likes or a lot of that lifestyle information. So, it just allowed us that better understanding of the composition to get to that market size and potential. It allowed us, we wanted to really understand what we could be doing to increase the share of wallet with these key client segments. And then, what we really needed to do as well was acquire new clients much more cost effectively. We needed to know where to hunt. So from a segmentation perspective, 6 things really came into the forefront here. Number one was that understanding by these new segments, where the sales were coming from, what the customer penetration was in each of these segmentation groups. And that was a little bit eye-opening, where both the customer penetration and the market share, where, from an established client perspective, we may be over-penetrated, but we didn't have a lot of their share. There was a lot of room for growth there. You needed to understand frequency, the tenure of these clients, and also how they shopped us. How do they like to shop us, whether at Harry Rosen mainline stores, harryrosen.com, or the outlet. From a themes perspective, what were we looking at from an Environics data sources? So market demographics. We needed to understand the age of the household. We needed to understand what was the presence of children in the home? What was the educational attainment, the ethnicity? From an income perspective, looking at things like household income, disposable income, getting into market share and potential. How much do these segments, what do they spend on? What do they spend on menswear, whether it's clothing, footwear, accessories, tailoring, and alterations? So what do they spend in aggregate, and what are they spending at Harry Rosen? And then looking at urbanity. Do these clients or segments, do they live in the downtown core or in the downtown or urban fringe? Do they live in the suburbs, smaller towns, or rural? And what was the opportunity for each? And then we blended that with Harry Rosen data. So the Harry Rosen client characteristics, do they shop, how many? Where do they shop us? They shop us at Harry Rosen stores, at our outlet stores, online. What was the sales volume? What are they buying regular price versus sales price? So what was the margin? The seasonality, like, do they shop us more in the spring? Do they shop us every month? Or do they wait in the fall and shop us in the fall when the fall merchandise trends come out? What line of business are they shopping? Are they shopping us currently? What categories? What brands? And then we married that as well with Harry Rosen loyalty information around what loyalty tier are they at? What's their current points balance? Had they redeemed with us before? How engaged are they with the loyalty program? How sensitive are they to bonus point offerings? What was their tenure and overall frequency? So to sum up the last 2 slides, really was a blend of taking the Environics data, marrying it with Harry Rosen data, and it just gave us that much more robust view of the client knowledge, and really defined targeted client groups. It became our new segmentation, where we went from having 20 to 25 different client segments. We narrowed it down to 10 key target groups that we absolutely had to win with. These 10 groups all had very unique characteristics, and we have developed a number of different action plans against these target groups. So outcomes so far, or initiatives leveraging the segmentation, a number of different initiatives have gone on, but these are probably the biggest ones. Number one, develop marketing strategy and tactical plans for each of these key target groups. We needed to realign resources and ensure that we had the right people in place, and we had the manpower in place to drive the share and acquisition from key segments. Once these plans were put into place, we had to ensure that we had the right people aligned, and we had to secure a realigned marketing budget. We needed to set clear target KPIs for each priority segment and track performance. And then for the first time, we were able to identify target-rich geographical areas within Canada for acquisition purposes. And at the end of the day, we updated a client dashboard that we use to manage our business that reflects the new segmentation. So how many have we gotten? What are they spending with us? Are we hitting our KPIs? So all these things have really changed a lot of the way of our thinking in the marketing group. So just to summarize, a lot of these actions driven from the segmentation work that we've done with Environics. We've identified the key segments. We've evaluated their market potential. We know how big is big. And we know what that future spend should be with Harry Rosen. We developed the targeted marketing campaigns, not only creating brand awareness, but really driving the spend that we need from these key segments from an acquisition and share of wallet perspective. One thing I'll touch on is client experience and our new client experience program that we stood up in April of 2021, really allowing us to understand the client irritants or transactional barriers by client type. So if we really wanted to dig into why is a client from a key target group not scoring as high on a likelihood to recommend? We understand that by the key target groups has been a great find for us. And then finally, we incorporate all these segmentation learnings with the merchandise team, especially when it comes to the buy for our younger demographic. Are we carrying the right brands? Are we playing in the right categories? So this helps fuel a lot of the decision making in terms of future buys for the buying team. Just talking through the market potential of our key client or key customer segments. This is really it's a busy slide, but it's a simplified version of our corporate segmentation where there's three primary buckets. Number one is our established clients. The icons below established clients there, that's what makes up our established clients, whether it's A-list, wealthy and wise, mature and secure, Asian avenues, or first-class families. These are Harry Rosen, longer tenured clients. They've been with us for a while. The biggest goal here is to retain, maintain. There is opportunity to acquire new, but largely speaking, this is a retention play here, making sure we don't lose what we have today with these established clients. The one in the middle, the potential clients, that's our biggest opportunity for growth. This is that younger multicultural customer, more often than not, living in the downtown core, living in condos. We really need to drive awareness, acquisition, and spend from this client group. This is all about growth for the potential clients. And then finally, the third column is the deal seekers. One thing we've learned through the pandemic as we moved a lot of inventory online at discounted prices was there is a designer/luxury deal seeker out there. There's a lot of them, and they don't really care if they're wearing a season or 2 season old merchandise as long as it's got the brand they're looking for. So we really want to drive awareness to this new group of clients out there through the deals, bring them in through our deal site. But at the end of the day, it's all about bringing them on board through the deal, through the promos, but cultivating them into becoming a Harry Rosen mainstream client. For this is a grow segment as well. Significant opportunity for us, and where we leverage the client, the segmentation work is really from a targeting perspective. We don't want to give margin away, so we're targeting marketing campaigns aimed at these potential deal seekers. Just to talk through how we develop a targeted marketing campaign and how we leverage a lot of the variables and the method and the profiling behind that. We look at things from a variable perspective, such as household income, average apparel spend. Is there a lot of spend going on with the segment? We also look at the current share from Harry Rosen, not only spend but also a margin perspective. We cluster those segments based on the desired characteristics we're looking for, and we go and look outside our key target groups for lookalikes. We look for those potentials that look like our potential target groups, but they're not shopping Harry Rosen, and we believe they should be shopping Harry Rosen. So we then take the clustered the lookalikes and validate that model against the segmentation profiles, confirming that identified markets are appropriate. Conversations take place with people, operational leaders and merchandise leaders, and we gather additional insights to inform, what should we be communicating or what should the product mix be for these clients. At the end of the day, knowing the region, lifestyle, education, or where these clients live, we can also serve up what brands they like, what brands they've been buying, what categories they purchase and or tend to play in quite a bit, and what channel they're more apt to shop as. Is it more of an online play, or is it a more Harry Rosen mainline store play? And then you've heard me talk about client experience, and what we've done there since April of 2021. And let me take a couple of minutes here, and just, I'm not going to be able to do it justice because I'm pretty proud of this work the team's done, but we launched a client experience program in April 2021 where we survey our client base to capture, at the end of the day, we're capturing a net promoter score. What we mean by net promoter score is we ask clients after a series of questions of how likely they would be to recommend Harry Rosen to friends and families. The score is anywhere from 0 to 10. Top two box, 9 and 10, is what we call promoters. 7 and 8 are what we call passives, and anything less than a 6 is a detractor. So to get to the net promoter score, we take the percentage of people who have promoted or are promoters, have scored us 9 and 10. We subtract that from the percentage of detractors. That's our net promoter score. But what leads into it is a series of questions around the in-store experience, the relationship or the advisor experience, the loyalty program, our online evaluation if they shop us online, and merchandise. Are we carrying the right brands, or are there other categories they want to see us play in? We take this survey data and we append all survey responses back to their segmentation data. So we know what target segment or what segment each of the respondents are in. So we're able to slice the results of this survey by PRIZM segment, by our corporate segmentation, to better understand and prioritize the concerns of the target groups. This has been a significant paradigm shift for the organization. For example, we have stores get alerted with communication when a survey respondent scores as a detractor. They are alerted for follow-up within 24 hours. And more often than not, what is happening in these phone calls with these detractors is the stores are turning a concern or a client irritant into a sale. So it's been a huge benefit to the stores. Number of different findings from marrying the segmentation work that we've done with this client experience data. Number one, we found out that newer clients with significant potential have been providing was a much lower NPS. And what that leads to is an opportunity for us to develop a proper onboarding communication program for new clients, not only welcoming them to Harry Rosen, but really communicating to them what to expect, what our service offering is, and how to make the most of the Harry's experience. So we're in the throes of doing that. We figured out that, or we've understood that established clients with store advisors, those clients who have been with us a long time, have a long-standing relationship with an advisor, they score us very high when it comes to net promoter score. The outcome of that is we're developing a campaign centered around the value of advisor to attract that younger demographic. So that will be in market later this season. And then finally, one of the high-level key findings as well is newer clients have a low awareness of the loyalty program. So that's all around communication, whether that's improved communication to the client base, whether that's part of the onboarding program, but also ensuring that our store group, our store advisors, and POS individuals working in the stores have a proper understanding of the program. But really what this has done is this client experience program has moved us away from a gut feel on what we think we should be addressing from a client experience perspective to fact-based. And because the facts we're getting out of the survey are married back to the client segmentation work that we've done, we're able to prioritize and address the client irritants based on what our key client target groups are telling us. So it's been very significant for us. So to wrap up, 5 things. I'll be quick and then I'll get into some questions, but end of the day, marrying Environics data with Harry Rosen data has provided a much more robust view of our clients and our target client groups. Number 2, we now have a really good understanding of what our market potential is and the key client groups we need to win with. Number 3, that segmented approach allows us to have that client-centric view across key functions. By key functions, I mean not only marketing, but ensuring that client-centric view is with our operation, with an operations leader, whether that's also included within what's going on with our merchandise team in terms of buys and what we need to do to attract that younger demographic. Number 4, we become much more efficient in the use of acquisition dollars for campaigns. We know where the clients are, we need to go after. And then number 5, as I just mentioned around client experience, the survey results by target group really helps us enable prioritization. So with that, I thank you for your time, and I'll happily address all questions in a few minutes. Thank you very much.